You guys asked for this. Okay, literally no one asked for this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Hey everybody, welcome to Bourbon Bytes Whiskey Reviews with a gaming twist, except we're literally not doing whiskey today. We're doing something that probably shouldn't exist on this planet. A few weeks ago on my podcast, I mentioned that Arby's was putting out a vodka. So you know I had to buy it. So after dealing with what was probably the closest thing to a disaster of a website, I managed to score 2 bottles of Arbys Vodka. You're probably wondering one of two things. 1, what the hell's wrong with them? And 2, how much did you pay for these? Well, shipped to my door, this was $132. So this is more than I've spent on some premium whiskeys. So I'm gonna do something for the first time ever on this channel and do a vodka review for you guys. Because I now have in my prestigious collection, Crinkle Cut Vodka and Crinkle Fry Vodka. So these are flavored vodkas inspired by Crinkle Cut Fries and Crinkle Fries at Arby's. So this is actually a collaboration between Arby's and a distillery in Minneapolis that I thought was called Tattersall, but I think it's Tattersall Distillery. So as soon as these vodkas arrived to my door, I had to make a run to the nearest Arby's, which was surprisingly literally 30 minutes away. These are cold by now, but I got Crinkle Fries and Crinkle Cut Fries just so we can see how true they live up to their name. So normally with whiskey reviews, I like to open a bottle and have a few pours out of it before I do a review, but nah, this time we are going in for the first time ever for both of these vodkas. So we're gonna start with the Crinkle Fry Vodka. This is bottle number 162. 80 proof, like I said, about $60 each. So this one is inspired by none other than Arby's Crinkle Cut Fries, which by the way, we need to talk about for a minute. Are you guys a fan of Crinkle Cut Fries? I honestly grew up eating frozen ones that look just like this, and I never was a fan. But let me go ahead and set my palate with one just to make sure I know what a Crinkle Cut Fry should taste like. Oh yeah, first of all, those are very cold, but yeah, it's tons of potato. The potato crispy ratio is off. I guess I'm just not a crinkle cut guy. So let me know in the comments below, are you a Crinkle Cut Fry fan, or do you prefer the more traditional Arby's curly fries? These are my jam. But enough about fries. Let's get back to the vodka. Okay, that was puny Arby's. Come on, you gotta improve the cork pop game. And I gotta stick to tradition here. I am drinking this out of a Glencairn whiskey glass. It's what I do all my tastings in most of the time. So, you know, even though it's a vodka, you know, it's gotta have the best chance of doing well in this thorough review. Oh man, on the nose, I know I'm already regretting this. So it smells like vodka, obviously, but there's not really much, flavor going on the nose at least of this one. So this is made with kosher salt and sugar. It's supposed to mimic the taste of an actual crinkle cut fry. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Cheers. Not bad. Okay, Arby's, I see you. With that being said though, I don't get any of the flavor they say they put in here, like the salt or the, I know it's just salt and sugar, but to me, it just tastes like a pretty good craft vodka. Now I know these are potato vodkas, which is very fitting for French fry flavored vodka, and they're from Tattersall. And I know us whiskey people cringe at this word, but it is smooth. I mean, it's 80 proof, so obviously you're not looking at something super high proof here. It does have a little bit of sweetness on the nose, and I guess that's from the added sugar. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't blow me away, but it's pretty standard vodka. So whatever drinks you would normally use a vodka for, this would work great in them. Actually, I've come up with a couple cocktails for each of these later in the video, so stick around if you want to see what I think would be a great use for this vodka. But first, we gotta move on to the Crinkle Fry Vodka. Bottle number 25, got an early batch here. Okay, so this one's distilled with cayenne, paprika, onion, and garlic. So I think this one's gonna have a lot more flavor going for it compared to the Crinkle Cut. But just for reference, let me just go ahead and... They do a good job with the spices on this. I really do like a curly fry from Arby's. Okay, pause for the most taterific cork pop you'll ever hear. Ah, man. Better, but not great. If this is literally the first video you're watching from me, I'm sorry. So I normally do whiskey reviews here on this channel. I do some rums too. I like experimenting with different spirits, but most of all, it's whiskey reviews. So if you are enjoying yourself today, make sure to leave me a thumbs up. It really does mean a lot. And if you want to see more reviews, even if you're new to whiskey or you want to get into whiskey, I go live every Thursday night with different distillery guests and flights of whiskey, so it's always a good time. So I'd love to have you on a future, less ridiculous video. All right, so the Crinkle Fry Vodka is in the glass. Okay, on the nose, I can already tell that this smells more interesting than the Crinkle Cut, which reflects my opinion on the fries themselves, but I'll stop complaining about Crinkle Cut fries. It honestly kind of reminds me of like when they're fermenting the corn for like a whiskey distillery. It has a very sweet, a little bit sour note in the air when you're smelling it being made. A little bit like a vermouth too. It kind of reminds me of that note like a dry vermouth. Not necessarily getting the cayenne or paprika that they mention in the tasting notes, at least not on the nose, but let's go ahead and give it a try. Cheers. Ah, there's the kick. There's a bit of a kick on the end. That's really interesting. Again, it's subtle, but not nearly as subtle as the Crinkle Cut. This has an interesting combination of flavors. I don't think I've quite experienced anything like this before. It does kind of tingle the nose hairs a bit, but I'm really searching for that onion or the garlic, and I'm not really getting it. I'm getting a little bit of a kick, probably from the cayenne pepper on the end, but flavor-wise, it's pretty simple. The spice blend they use on curly fries is just so iconic. I can recognize that taste from anywhere. For the vodka, I wish it really carried over that unique spice flavor. It seems like they tried to by using the same actual spices, but it does kind of lean heavy on the cayenne and not enough on the other, garlic or anything that inspires that significant iconic taste. But honestly, it's not bad, and it is reminiscent of a curly fry. So now that we've tried them both neat, I thought to give them a fair chance, I would make a cocktail for each of these vodkas. So for the Crinkle Cut vodka, I knew I wanted to have something simple that let the vodka show itself. So I went with a classic dirty martini. By the way, do you guys like my garnish? I think it's pretty cute. So it's just your standard dirty martini recipe with vermouth, olive juice, and Crinkle Cut vodka. Just the norm. So cheers, and let's go ahead and give this a taste. Pretty damn good. I don't know if it's just the olive juice itself, but it does taste a little salty, which is interesting because I make dirty martinis all the time and I don't think I've ever gotten that much element of salt. So I feel like that is coming from the vodka itself. Yeah, very clean, crisp. I mean, it's a good quality vodka. Can't forget the garnish. Olives and french fries. Who would have known? It works very well. So now it's time for the Curly Fry Vodka cocktail. So they go big and bold with these flavors and in the fries themselves. And for me, that only screams one classic cocktail, and that's a Bloody Mary. So I hope you love the garnish on this glass. We have a curly fry, of course, a jalapeno popper, and a mozzarella stick. And not just that, this Bloody Mary has a healthy dose of none other than Arby's sauce. The funny thing is, this is probably not the most ridiculous Bloody Mary you've ever seen. I've seen some pretty elaborate ones on the internet, but for now, this will do for our taste test. So here's hoping this wasn't $130 down the drain and I can actually make something unique with this. Cheers. Oh, hell yeah. That works really, really well. I don't know if it's the Arby's sauce or the Arbys Vodka, but that combination, I've used this Bloody Mary mix before, really takes it up another level. For Bloody Marys, I like ones that are more of a medium spice. I don't like the, super spicy ones, but I also don't want to give up on flavor. A lot of times when I get a mild Bloody Mary, it doesn't have much flavor. This though, that Arby's sauce gives it a really nice extra bit of depth and spiciness, and who's to say maybe the vodka's helping out too. This is probably one of the better Bloody Marys I've made myself. You can definitely taste that bit of what I was interpreting as like a cayenne. That's definitely front and center on this. So that lets me know that it's not just the Arby's sauce that's inspiring this Bloody Mary. The vodka actually benefited it as well. And it's even better because screw your celery, screw whatever you put in your Bloody Mary. I got a mozzarella stick. Cold and soggy, just like I like them. So I hope you guys like this video. I know it's completely different than my other stuff, but who could turn down French fry vodka? Okay, probably a lot of people. Did anyone else buy this by chance? Was it just me? Was I supposed to not open this like the Tesla tequila? Like, is this gonna go for like hundreds of dollars on secondary or more? Probably should have looked that up before I filmed this video. But like I said before, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave me a thumbs up. And if you want to come back for more spirit reviews, you can subscribe down below. Thank y'all for watching. This has been Bourbon Bytes, vodka reviews with the gaming twist. I'm Clifton. Cheers, and I'll see you next video.